doing today? Craig Matheny with LazerModels. We're here to build the spaceship. And so what I've done with all the pieces, I've kind of put them into like-minded piles. Got this little pile of just junk left over, it looks like, so I'm just going to scoop it under my hand and put it onto the plastic bag just to make sure it's nothing we need. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get these two pieces here. They kind of look the same, but they have a little notch on the bottom, so we want to make sure that we glue them together correctly. So those two get glued together. And you do not need a ton of glue. Then we get the stand. We got a bottom, made in the USA by LazerModels. Those are going to go like that. So we're going to take that piece in there. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to put a little bit of glue on this back side here. Stick it through and slide it. A little bit of glue on those. The bottom will go into that hole there. And you just line it up. There's that piece there. You've got two pieces here. One says bottom, so that's the one that goes on first. So a little bit of glue. A little bit of glue in that slot. Wiggle it back and forth till it goes down. They're tight because the pieces are not quite pushed together enough. And this piece here will go on to top here to seal it off. That's your stand that you're going to be using. We'll just set it to the side for now. No, got two more things. Got that to glue onto here. Alright, a little bit of glue right there. And we just line up the back with it. Now we can set it to the side. Next step will be to glue together the little pieces here. You got to figure out which one it is that fits. But if you look for the one with the little circle on it, that's it. A little bit of glue on the outside. Line it up where the front, those are like windows. And then there's a little dot that's going to go there. So that's going to be this little dot. And then set that to the side. Then we're going to do the front of the engine and spacers. There's 4 of these spacers. So we're going to glue them in 2 piles of just 2. A little bit of glue. And if you notice, when I glue stuff together, if it's round, I kind of spin it when I'm pushing it. What that does is it moves the glue around and it gets it to dry faster. So it's already pretty much dry. And these here, you want to kind of line them up the best you can, get them in the middle. And then just set those to the side. Make sure you put the glue on the underside of that piece because it's got a pattern on it. You want that pattern to show through. So there's those. That's step 8. We're going to go to step 9. We're going to use this going to take one of the small pieces, one of the large pieces, small round, large round. On this piece you're going to have two ends. This one's larger, that one's smaller, larger, smaller. Okay? So the only other thing that's important on this step is on this particular piece and this particular piece. Directions will tell you to put the small notch to the bottom. So this would be the bottom. So we want the small notch facing down. Okay? Put it on the right side. Small notch would be facing down. So let's go ahead, get a little bit of glue there. Small notch facing down. A little bit of glue there. Put that piece on. Do the same thing on this end. Remember, small notch facing down. And put that on. You're going to do two of these. So let's grab the other four pieces. Large end. Notch facing down. This side here, again, small notch facing down. And glue it on. The next step is going to be gluing these side pieces on. You're going to notice they're tapered. You have a fat end and a skinny end. So just get them all in order. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you got 7 for each one. The thicker end, the wide end, and a thin end. The wide end is going to go to the larger end because it takes more distance to fill it. Now because these are glued on, they're going to be a little snug. You might have to bow them a little, and sometimes the end pops off. It's not a big deal. What I do is I just take and I just put a bead of glue right around that inside edge there. Same thing here. You don't want to stop and glue every single piece. It just makes it really difficult. And then you just start lining them up. The best you can. You're going to find out that they're just going to keep moving on you until you get them all in place. And if they go in real easy like this side is, the other side's going to be harder. What it is it's angled a little bit. And one more on this side. Now you just want to kind of push them down to make sure they're all pushed in. And so that's what it's going to look like when it's finished. So just set it here. Let's do this one again. Glue around on that inside piece there. Here you can put a lot of glue. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to ooze out. It's going to really ooze into the inside of the piece there. If you use a lot of glue, it will take longer to dry. So again, I always start in the middle and just go there, and then I work around the side. And what you can do is if you push down with your finger here, you can kind of bow them a little bit. So as I push down, I hold the middle and I kind of push with my knuckle in to the top. Okay, now this is a different way. If you saw me on the other one, I was holding it like this doing that. Here's another way you can do it. There is no right or wrong way. You can start from the middle, go to the side go to the middle. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that they get all put in place. And again, you just kind of want to make sure they're all done. So that sets that to there. And then we need to go ahead and put the front of the engine and the rear of the engine. Okay? In step 8, we did not glue these rings onto the rear of the engine piece. I'll do that right now. They just go onto the one that's got the little pattern. They'll dry real fast, so. Because I designed these, it's just hard to follow directions. I know where I've got to get finished. And so it's really awkward for me. But anyway, we got the front of the engine, rear of the engine. Okay? The larger one's going to go on the front. The smaller one's going to go on the back. So the rear of the engine gets the one with the hole. So it's like it's blowing out. And just set that there. Same thing with this one. We'll go around a little bit, get it lined up. And we don't edit these movies other than the beginning and the end, or if we've got to stop it because we run out of time, the video shuts off. And then we got to restart. And that's what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to go ahead and take a quick reset of the camera and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, we found out doing these videos that a regular camera only lasts 29 minutes for a video. And so I was doing a couple of videos and they kept shutting off, so I thought I had a problem with the camera. And it turned out that cameras can only do 29 minutes worth of video. Otherwise, they have to pay a higher tax because they're now a video camera. I don't know. Anyway, here we are. Let's keep going. Now what we're going to do is we're going to attach these rings and these two spacers. What I like to do is I like to do the ring first. You've got cuts on both sides showing through. All that is to help you line up this ring because these pieces become critical. So you can do it one of two ways. You can go around the edge here, or I just put really light glue and I don't worry about it if it oozes through the little notch areas for windows. Put that on. Rotate it around. And it's not enough glue. It's not going to line up completely perfect, but it'll be really close. And we'll do this one. Okay, now while we've got it, I don't know, face up, face down, however you want to call it. There's little dots that go around the middle. You can barely see them on the one side, but that's where this double set goes. So, a little bit of glue. You kind of want to get that one there. Flip this over. Same thing there. Okay. And try to get it as centered as possible. Those dots will be on the outside, so they're not going to get covered up. What those are for is purely to shoot the angle for these pieces. That's how that gets that cone on the top and the bottom. So next thing we do is the side that's got the etching here in this area, put it face down. So this side's got nothing. What you want to do is a big bead of glue, and I mean a big, good sized bead of glue, along this whole edge here. If you're using the Q-tip method, because you're a little guy and you can't control the bottle of glue, you can always get mom and dad to help here. Again, here, a big thing of glue here. If mom and dad's not around and you want to keep working on it, then what you're going to do is on each piece. So what you're going to do on each piece, you're going to put a lot of dots of glue here and a lot of dots of glue right here. Because what it is, it sets there to there, and that's it. So they just set in place and drop down. And if you do this right, where you start on the back, you're not going to have glue oozing out all over. If you start in the front and you push back, it's going to ooze out the top. As you're going around, it's just setting in there, and it just does its job. You're lining up these the best you can. Again, the laser cuts, when it cuts out some pieces, a little bit of the wood will disappear, and over this whole thing you will end up with a little gap. So I have a tendency to go ahead and line the outer side. So this side with the line the best I can. And that way, when I'm at the end, there's a very, very little gap. And on these, it does not matter which ones you use on this side. You do want to make sure, though, that you have the ring towards the top. Okay? Take the paper towel and just... Oh, we have any glue got there. Now that you're done with this other disc, you had two left over, this is where it goes. So on this one, a decent amount of glue, and it just kind of sits in there and fills that void. So that's the top side. Now we're going to go to the harder side. This is the bottom. Now, these two pieces, do not put this one here and that one there. They go in distinctly. So before you put any glue, figure out which piece is going to go where. So that one's there and this one's going to be on this side. So set those in those areas. That way when you get ready to glue those in, because you're going to be gluing these in at the same time, these go in that spot. And so you want to make sure that it's all ready to go. So the other thing you want to do is when you get ready to glue these in, they're going to kind of want to fall. So if you can find something laying around, I don't know, those won't work. A roll of tape, not too high. You know, or you just sit there and you hold it like I'm probably going to end up doing. So anyways, let's go ahead and get this started. Again, a lot of glue around the outside edge. And you guys might notice that I use a white colored wood glue. The only reason I do it is because I buy this in the gallon. and it's a framing glue. It's used for framing picture frames, and so it's a great price. And so, you know, business, you use what you can get at a good price. So on this, start in the middle here with these three. Now, this one goes there. This one goes here. Now what you want to do right now is you just want to make sure that those are going to line in there. You only get one shot at this. There you go. So get your glue in there. Same thing here. Get some glue down here. Shove that in there. Shove that in there. Now, unless you guys are using quick drying glue, which you're not supposed to be, you can just keep going and doing the model. They are laying down. That's okay, because before they get a chance to dry, we're going to get them into place. And then the last one, and you're going to have to push them around a little bit. Glue here. Now these pieces, you want to make sure they stay in place. So the best thing to do is just kind of hold them for a little while. If you can find something that can absorb that distance, like, I don't know. There we go. Little paint bottle. It's my wife's craft room, so it's got all sorts of cool stuff. Anyway, while that's drying now, this is step 16. This also happens to be the piece that sets here, that holds this. So you want to put that in place. And then these are extra pieces. These were the holes that came out of there. So we didn't know, but those become trash, so they just go in the trash pile. So after you let this dry for maybe 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes, it just depends upon how much glue you put in there. Just take it up, set it on the model. They'll probably fall off, but that's okay. I've got plenty of glue. Yep, there it went. So I'll let it dry. Don't be impatient like I am. And then you'll end up with your model when it's all completely finished. Alright, thanks guys. Enjoyed talking to you. Hit us up on Facebook. Hit us up on Instagram. Thanks a lot.